In the heart of a ghostly town stood a house that whispered tales of terror. This was no ordinary dwelling. Its chilling silhouette, a stark contrast to the lifeless surroundings, seemed to harbor an ominous secret. The walls, scarred by time, echoed with a bone-chilling silence, and the windows, vacant as the soulless eyes of a spectre, bore witness to countless dreaded nights. In this desolate landscape, the house stood as a grim reminder of its haunting history. Little did the unsuspecting visitors know, the true horror was waiting inside. As the front door creaked open, a chill swept over them, seeping into their very bones. In that moment, the once inviting home now loomed ominously, a stark contrast to the warm welcome they'd anticipated. Upon crossing the threshold, they were met with an eerie silence, a stillness that seemed to swallow their footsteps and muffle their voices. The air was thick, heavy with an unseen presence that sent shivers down their spines. Even the walls seemed to breathe, echoing with whispers from a time long past. As they ventured further, the house began to reveal its secrets. A sudden drop in temperature, the kind that chills you to the marrow, was the first sign. Then came the noises, a soft, rhythmic tapping, like phantom footsteps pacing the wooden floors, a distant, mournful wail, as though the wind itself was in agony. Without warning, objects began to move on their own. A book would fall off a shelf, a chair would scrape across the floor, a door would slam shut. Each occurrence seemed to be a deliberate act, a clear message from the unseen entity that they were not alone. This wasn't just a house. It was a vessel, a timeless echo of lives lived and lost, of stories untold. As they navigated its haunted halls, they could feel its spectral inhabitants brush past them, their ghostly whispers curling around their ears like cold breath. With every passing minute, the house seemed to come alive, watching them, haunting them. The walls of the house, if they could talk, would scream of the unspeakable horrors they had witnessed. They would tell a story of a time shrouded in a veil of darkness, a time when happiness was snuffed out like a candle in the wind. In the deepest chambers of this dwelling, a tale of terror unfolded. A once jovial family, innocently unaware of the sinister shadow that loomed over them, fell prey to a cruel twist of fate. The laughter that once echoed through the halls was replaced by an eerie silence, punctuated only by the occasional chilling wail of despair. The father, a man known for his kindness and warmth, met a tragic end under circumstances too gruesome to recount. His spirit, it is said, still roams the corridors, forever trapped in the house of horrors. The mother, driven to madness by the loss of her beloved, succumbed to the unbearable weight of her sorrow. The children, innocent victims of the house's malevolent curse, disappeared without a trace. Their echoing laughter turned to silence, their joyous games replaced by an eternal game of hide-and-seek with death. The house, it seemed, had a life of its own, feeding on the fear and despair of its inhabitants, growing stronger with each passing day. The house wasn't merely a house, it was a tomb, a monstrous entity that fed on the fear of its inhabitants. The realization hit them like a bolt of lightning. They were trapped inside a nightmare. The air around them was thick with dread, and the silence of the house was broken only by their pounding hearts. The once familiar surroundings now seemed like an endless maze, each room more foreboding than the last. They scrambled towards the front door, only to be met with an icy chill that sent shivers down their spines. The door refused to budge, as though held by unseen hands. Panic set in, their breaths coming in gasps as the walls of the house seemed to close in on them. Their only hope was the back door, a narrow escape route that led into the murky darkness of the night. With every step, the house retaliated. The lights flickered, the floorboards groaned, and the air grew colder. The supernatural presence was palpable, a malevolent force they could almost touch. The journey to the back door was a terrifying sprint through a gauntlet of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. Doors slammed shut behind them, cutting off any retreat.